Myself, Dilip Kumar Jha, I welcome you all in-house training, and my topic is education of peace. Peace education is now accepted as an important part of education system. As a involved international groundsman and the scholarly literature, however, the peace education remains the difficult to define. What might to be called maximalist understanding of peace education involves educating students towards personal fulfillment and the creation of cooperative society. What might to be called a understanding of peace education involves educating students to reject war, arms, and armistice. What is particularly interesting in international document on peace of education is the idea of peace education as area of culture of peace. Ultimately, the field of peace education still remain an emerging one with more therefore and practical research required based for future. Peace education in India and its development. India has a long history to promoting the peace, international understanding, tolerance, and self-restraint, which are evident from the Veds, Quran, Upanishad, the ancient Indian Rishi, visualized the earth as a global village. They visualized the Veds. The whole world is a family. 19th century, Swami Vivekananda, great mission was a peace up to mankind, its dignity, and how to make it manifest in every moment of life. He said that ultimate aim of education is to establish internal peace and security for the spiritual foundation of different nations. He preached tolerance in religion and education which essential help to peace. He preached the universal brotherhood of men. They thought and action for promoting the peace of outstanding personality like Mahatma Gandhi, Iqbal, Rabindranath Tagore, and Vishnu Prasad Rao. Captivities. The word attention must the dispute between the people are solved without the violence, but not at all. If we move away from the violence as a way of solving dispute at home and abroad, we must working together to help young people learn how to deal with the conflict creatively. Peace education is generally understood as encompassing the two dimensions of practice. By reader 2008 Education about Peace and Education for Peace. Education about the peace refers to education primarily concerned with the acquiring of knowledge about the violence and peace. And concerned with acquiring the knowledge about the violence and peace. This may include teaching about the negative effect of war and violence, about the history as possible non-violent alternative. For example, education for peace refers to education which focus on learning the skill necessary for the living peacefully and promoting the action to create peaceful alternative. This may include developing the skill for constructive conflict resolution, internal cultural communication, or nurturing orientation of respect, equity, democratic participation. For example, this letter highlights the importance of achieving the coherence between the aims and modes of pedagogic practice. The combined attention to content and method are central to peace the education. Scholars have underscored the influence of progressive and critical within the peace of education practice. The highlights of influence of education theorists such as John Dewey in the United States, Maria Montessori in Italy. These pedagogic theories that emphasize the union between the purpose and process in education. They propose put into practice experimental, student centralized and diagnosis to create the democratic, inclusive and the autonomous learning process that promote value of collaboration, independent thinking of democracy and international. For example, Dewey encouraged the pedagogic approaches that learning through doing, where student and educator reflect on the context, build to connection and carry out the collaborative problem solving. Such replaces higher process and based on the road of the experimental learning that blends theory, reflection and practice in the way of embody democratic interaction. Similarly, the Montessori, the education of the whole child, the integration of learning process. She advocate for the classroom environment that student leads, where the student can learn at their own pace and interaction with others. She believed this would help to foster the autonomous thinking and build skill cooperative relationship to each other, thus contributing to be a more peaceful world. Finally, work examining the way traditional modes of education deny the agency of learner and serve the interest of the status up. For the dialogues approaches where the student and teacher come together to co-construct knowledge through the reflection of real world problem and the recognition that no knowledge as a neutral. Peace education evokes such forms the practice wherein student view as a agent his own learning relation dynamic mirror and respect the human dignity and learning is collaborate oriented towards the analyze the world injustice and the many possible alternatives in the piece of education to practice in the future oriented and look the foster transformative agency to other learner. The implementation of peace education has emerged in two boards: formal education including primary education and higher education, and non-formal education including extra programs, community-based initiative among the others. In each of these wide range practical approaches has been implemented. Some example is social emotional learning. Social emotional learning, the importance of social and the emotional development. It includes the nurturing of self-awareness, emotional management, social awareness, and decision-making program allow young people to acquire pro-social skills, while teachers and school leaders model and support positive and caring the behavior and inclusive the strategies that bring children voices into the classroom and school. Second, CRE, conflict resolution education. Conflict resolution education program offer skill training to support participants to engage construct in conflict that occur their everyday lives. This has included the skill workshop for meditation program, creative controversy and cooperative learning method, and restorative justice approaches. They also encompass effort to build school climate that promote constructive engagement of conflict. Third, problem-based transformer approaches. This approach encourages students to example specify social problem affecting their community and development, where to address and transform the practice center on supporting of development to capacities for critical and complex analysis, while the fostering and transformative agency often by the supporting development of specific skill as relevant to specific issue. For example, support students to take decision and implement community-based change initiative. Next, HRE, human right education. Education towards foster human rights knowledge, skill and its values. This includes the teaching about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the subsequent international treaties, as well as building awareness and skill to exercise and respect the human rights and human dignity. Encounter and integration of approaches. In setting marked by the history of the intercommunal violence, peace education initiatives have worked on bridging the divides through the exchange of programs, integrated school and dual narrative textbook which contrast divergent version of history based on contact hypothesis. This method aims to build intergroup the understanding, memory, and justice for whole of the people. A range of education effort in peace education towards supporting the student to understand the legacies of history and reflect and experience process, accountability and reconciliation. This includes the attention how to collect the history informs current realities. Intercultural and anti-terrorist education. A broad area of practice in a peace education addresses the ongoing dynamic racism and the discrimination in communities across the world. Example of the include effort of the post-critical analysis of systematic racism, reflexivity, to uncover and transform the internal racism and cross-culture dialogue and understand about it. Safe school and cooperative school climate. In this section and other area of practice with a peace education focus diminishing the school violence and building a school climate centered on cooperation and well-being. These approaches blend efforts to integrate peace, education, meditation, and restorative justice and other practices to school to order to foster as a positive and cooperative relationship like a climate. These are a few examples of peace education approaches. They do not capture the full range of peace education practice. It offers some insight into the multitude of ways peace education has been implemented. It is also important to note that these approaches are not exclusive and they often put into the practice currently. During the past 2 decades, the world experienced some of the highest rate violence, having affected a large number of countries and regions, from the poorest to the most affluent, directly affecting the lives, dignity, well-being of millions of people globally. Conflict often causes the unjust distribution of resources, vice versa, leading of inequality. Peace of education is a primary pillar, preventing armed conflict, violence, saving living, and the freeing up limited resources for social needs. Opportunity to reform and positive changes often arrive during and after conflict as a peace education initiative helps educators teach the next generation to better understand and address problems that can undermine that rule of law, prepare students to serve as a next generation of leaders in creating a more equality in social justice. Peace education is a primary pillar preventing the armed conflict, violence, saving lives, and free up limited resources for social needs. The Peace of Education a working group of the Global Partnership for the Prevention of Armed Conflict, being working in the field of conflict prevention since 2007, addressing the structure that leads to both physical, social, and psychological violence through education initiative in school, colleges, and communities. The support of country wide peace and conflict education policy and the development of education structures at a scale within a country and region build the capacity of youth, family and community members. It is crucial to this group to have the knowledge, skill and ability to better address, manage conflict and advocate of social justice in their communities. We urge government and civil society to support the cause of conflict prevention through peace, education, non-violent conflict resolution, as well as put in the place a structure and condition that uphold the social justice. Peace education is a process of peace building that teaches people to settle differences of non-violence. Peace education of its importance. Achieving the peace fall under the three basic categories: peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building. Peacekeeping generally involves police or military action to strive the achieve peace through strength and force. Peacemaking involves communication skill like conflict resolution and mediation strategic or interacting or non-violent with others. Both of these categories are reactive approaches that kick in after the violent incident has occurred. Next, third, peace building. On the other hand, it is a more proactive approach that uses peace education as a means that creating more stable or peaceful culture, thereby preventing violent incident or occurring. Peace education is critical culture that reduces the needs for peacemaking, peacekeeping by developing the comprehensive program that teaches the people how to interact with others, avoid unnecessary aggression. Let's look at all the objects that typically found in piece of education. There are 10 primary objects of peace building or peace education. These goals rely on the assumption of while a violent conflict unavoidable, there is a process by which we can address conflict and minimize the violence. Peace education seeks to reduce violence and promote peace building using the following objectives. Inform the instruction. Let's review each one. First, appreciate the concept of peace. This meant by the studying arts and humanities as they relate to peace, literature such as novel and religion text, film, documentaries, fine arts such as painting, photography, even performance arts such as music, all provides rich backup for understanding the concept of peace, appreciating the art created in its honor. It is of fear. It is the nature of wrongdoer to incite the fear among the people generate support for their genocide. This maintaining the deeply ingrained fear of one goals peace education. Peace educators are prepared alert to the fear their students had about both major world conflict and war as well as their interpersonal conflict. Provide the information and about its security. Peace education students to need understand the way national security system works so they can be conceptualize alternate to war that will keep the nation safe in the future. Peace educator teach about the implication of the arms race and international policy, the nature of the military, the militarization of the police and the prison industrial complex. Understand war behavior. Another objective of peace education is to understand the behavior of war and the condition under which group will seek organize violence as they answer the conflict. Peace education students can expose to several peaceful society as well as the role of individual like Hitler, Napoleon in the historical conflict. Development, intercultural and understanding. War is often direct result of otherness, so developing deep understanding and respect to other culture is critical to promoting the peace. War profiteers who make money from capturing and destructing have the billions of dollars invested in keeping with us versus them in the war, which prevent the people from demanding peace, encourage them to support the war, explore that long range of view. It is important that peace education see the potential for future without the violence. Peace educators to help the promote a hopeful optimism by showing the student that possible to affect the future based on what we to do. Peace education is a key for establishing the consensual peace and maintaining it over the time. There is 5 essential elements building the last peace through the education. First, public education system must be established that has compulsory attendance for all the children, youth, integrated students from previously conflicting group interact with one another, have to opportunity, the builds positive relationship with each other. Second, a sense of mutual and the common faith needs to establish the highlights mutual goal, the just distribution of benefit from the achieving the goals and common identity. In school, this is primarily done through use the cooperative learning. Third, the student must be taught the constructive controversy procedure to ensure that know how to make difficult decisions and engage in political discourse. Fourth, student must be taught how to engage in integrative negotiation, mediation to resolve their conflict with each other constructively. Finally, civic value must be included that focus student on the long-term common good of the society. The piece of education, highest form of objectives. Any education is including the peace and its essential value by every individual. The father and the mother is the first teacher to their children, and peace in the family. The peace at home, again enhanced in school. Peace is a broad concept with practical and spiritual connotation. It implies that state of inner calm or end of conflict. Peace is what who think about it. Peace has been understood to mean the absence of conflict and violence, and conversely, as the presence of states of mind of society such as harmony, accord, security, and the understanding about the peace. Peace education is a planning of eliminating the conflict and violence caused by injustice, inequality, and human rights violation, and implementing the way means the reducing shame through appropriate teaching and learning practice by means of producing the responsible global citizen to attain and spread the peace in the world. Therefore, peace education is a goal of education. Definition of the peace education, there is a accepted definition of peace education. There is a good number of definitions available on the basis of different preceptor and approaches. Some of the definitions which is given by the educators are given. Webster defines the peace as a state of quiet freedom from the disturbance or agitation, claim repose from the above definition. We can agree that the absence of elements such as tolerance, understanding, empathy, cooperation, respect to difference in others, there cannot be peace. Any strategy or educational system helps to enhance the above said among the individual could be known as peace education according to Albert Einstein. Peace is not merely the absence of war but presence of justice of law in order of in short the government according to 2006 peace education is a mechanism for the transformation form of a culture of violence to culture of peace through the process of some behaviors. Detailed reader defines peace education is the attempt to promote the development of authentic planning consciousness that enable to us the function as a global citizen to transform the present human condition by changing the social structures and patterns of thought that have created. Peace education is an attempt to respond the problem on conflict and the violence of scale ranging from the global and national to the local to the personal. It is about exploring ways to creating more just and sustainable future set by the legend RD in 1978. According to John, peace education is grounded in active citizenship, preparing learner for the serious participation in a democracy through the problem posing and the problem solving education, commitment to transformative action in our society. From this definition, it is understood that peace education includes the higher order of human value among the individuals. Further, peace education reveals it aims at overall the development of the individual, helps to enhance the internal value of their mind. Scope of peace education. Peace education is concerned with help of learner to develop the awareness, process and skills that are necessary for achieving the understanding, tolerance and goodwill in the world today. Peace education brings together multiple traditional theories of education, international initiative for the advancement of the human development through the learning and behavior. The practice of peace education is an opportunity to promote the total welfare of students, advocate for their justice and the equitable treatment of youth, and promote the individual and social responsibility for the both educators and learners. Aim and objective of peace education. The aim of peace education, perhaps the best summarize the use appeal for the peace, which states that culture and its peace will be achieved when citizens of the world understand global the problem, have the skills to resolve conflict, the constructive know and live by the international standard of human rights, gender equality, appreciate the cultural diversity, respect the integrity of the earth. Peace and education are the separable except of the civilization. No civilization is truly progressive without education, no education system truly, unless it is based to the universal principle of the peace. Peace education can be taught formal and informal school setting with the following objective, like first, change the order made to a world better or more human place. To develop the value and skill to assist the student in the striving of the fullness of life. To help the student to develop rich vision of peace to work for the visible global society. To create constructive behavior for dealing with problems so as to minimize and eliminate the conflicts. To explore the peace both state of being and as an active the process of promotion, positive human relations. Therefore, the peace education is actually called for an inclusive approach, mutual coexistence and the holistic way of living. Peace education applies to content all at every level in the society and in education system. Peace education should be extended to all learners, including refugee and migrant children from all the social sectors, disabled, with the objective of promoting equal opportunity through the education. The primary stage of education is idle time for the laying of foundation of peace-oriented personality. These years are the formative period in the lives of students. At stage, students are comparatively less burdened, and the number of students who could be close to education for peace at the maximum during their phase. Thereafter, students being to drop out. Therefore, this is the stage at which focus to attention should be paid to laying the foundation for culture of peace through the education. As saying it goes, it is easier to build the children that is to repair an adult. Therefore, peace education is important for each and every individual different stages of human. Therefore, peace education is important for each and every individual different stages. The approach to peace education at early childhood, elementary stages, secondary stages, higher education stage, adult stage varies the different of thinking. Peace education approaches to early childhood, starting peace building education in early childhood of a paramount importance. In early years, child's brain architecture is developing the most rapidly, having to form different are recognized and emotional ties are built through the social relationship and day-to-day in home, neighborhood, parental practice, and the environment that are the most practice and the environment that are most proximal to children are kept to determine for their physical, social, and emotional development, such as the home, family, early learning programs, and community protection programs play to a key role in the children's ability to manage conflict, reduce the violence, and shape key of the children's moral behavior. Therefore, the family members should create conducive environment to enhance the above said behavior among the children at early childhood stage. Peace education approaches to elementary as the children grow older and reach elementary school stages. They begin to grasp abstract how in limited way they develop the capacity to think and relationship about the various happening in his surrounding. A crucial issue for children at this stage that is relating to other children and their environment. Silence that school brings together children from environment backgrounds. Street need to equip with the conjunctive competence of 24 understand the value of underlying the hygiene both the self and the surrounding, respect for other and the elders, recognition of the dignity of labor, honesty, love, sharing and cooperation, tolerance, regularly, punctuality, responsibility, etc. Therefore, the education for peace of primary school children is about helping them enjoy and celebrate diversity, beauty and harmony in nature. They must be encouraged to develop the skill it takes to be at the homes with the nature. Peace education approaches to secondary stages in the secondary and the senior secondary stages. become aware of their identity. They are on their source for becoming the independent person. How it is sufficient in maturity to rejecting the confusion leads to conflict its parent teacher during the phase their skill of rational thinking, communication and self-discipline are tested. They are need to training to resolve the through dialogues and negotiation to their that the conflicts they are sure to encounter day-to-day interaction. They also need to develop awareness about the interrelationship, interdependence in the global and ecological context, so they can form a wider perspective on justice, peace and non-violence. It is important to enable to learn be on the recipient of the peace but active makers of peace who can think for the others and help them. Peace education approaches the higher education stages. Educators at all the levels generally agree that students should be taught about the peace. This is especially true in the current situation of the world. Higher education to perceive as extremely important, and the student in the higher education should be included the knowledge about its attitude and competence in the area of peacekeeping.
Assalamualaikum and hello. What is peace education? What are the types of peace education and why is peace education so important? So to have to understand what peace education, we first have to have an understanding of the concept of peace. What is peace? Why is it important and what are the types of peace? So peace is a way of living together in which people give their fellow creatures the space and it's necessary for mutual support to live their life to the fullest. This space and these activities can and should happen on different levels. Different certain standards are there. These levels can either be political or psychological. This can also be social level or spiritual level or interpersonal level or economical level, etc. Peace is a very wide concept indeed. It has to do with the deepest roots of our being human and with the world at large. To make this reality concrete, within a definition is far from simple. It can mean the absence of war, absence of terror, absence of violence, and the absence of oppression and discrimination by political or economic powers. More actively formulated, peace might be understood as respect for the right of every human being. Peace can also refer to be able to political balance. For example, we have to give respect to get respect. Peace. How is peace possible now? Peace is possible when people try to communicate beyond barriers and create mutual understanding. We might also make a distinction between two kinds of peace. These two main types of peace are there. Let's check them out. Number one, small peace, and number two, big peace. What is small peace? Small is the kind of peace between people as individuals. For example, peace between you and your friend, or between you and your family members, etc. What is big peace now? Big peace is, on the other hand, the one between societies, or between civilizations, or nations, and powers. Means on the big level. Peace is appealing and inspiring. It is something that cannot ever be achieved fully. It is a permanent engagement. Means a continuous process. Now we know what is peace. Now what is the peace education? Trying to define peace is in itself a form of peace education. Like peace education means to learn about and to learn for peace. About and for. Learning about peace means obtaining knowledge and understanding of what contributes to peace, what damages it, what leads to war, what does peace mean on each level anyway, what is my role in it, and how are the different levels connected from each other. Learning for peace means learning the skills, attitudes, and values that one needs in order to contribute to peace and help maintain it. It's our own responsibility to maintain it. For example, this means learning to deal with conflict without the recourse of violence, learning to think creatively, learning to apply the methods of active non-violence, or learning to deal with cultural differences in a constructive way. Peace education focuses on creating managing changes or connections. It won't deal with your ability and what you think that's out. It should enable people to live together in a peaceful way, to resolve conflict in a non-violent manner. There are a number of importances of peace education in our life. Thank you. This topic is included as an important topic in
Today I saw a dream. Dream? What dream, Mosu? Adi, there was a beautiful place. All the gods were sitting there and they were talking. But I couldn't understand what they were saying. Gods? Mosu, gods in a dream? Oh wow! Can you tell me what they all were talking about? Yes, Adi. Let me think and tell you. Yes, listen. There was a beautiful place and all the gods were sitting and talking. Narad, what's that noise?
Narayana, Narayana. Lord, your devotees are fulfilled for you on earth.
But why so much noise?
Narayana, Narayana.
Listen, please listen properly to what I am saying. To have good thoughts in your mind and peace in life, you must fast and keep your body healthy. In the world all the reasons for your unhappiness, and all these are issues of the mind. You are a soul. The mind is totally different from the soul. Think about these four things. These are the things I have told you to give up. This is sacrifice. And to have a happy nature, that is non-violence. And those who will think about the mistakes, only they will be able to understand them and will be able to overcome them. This is the path to get rid of all your sadness and stay in your happy nature. That was my advice.
I have also said the same thing in the Gita, that come into my shelter and you will be free of your sadness. To come into my shelter does not mean this. What I mean is, walk on the path that I have shown. The reason for sadness is not desire, but expectations. Your job is to do your work honestly and do not expect anything in return. You will get your fruits in return, and whatever you get, you have to accept it, because all desires are not fulfilled. And those expectations of your desires is what that makes you unhappy. And that's the reason for your sadness. Contentment is happiness.
Oh Lord, Narayana, Narayana.
Please leave that. We are not there. We are there inside you. That is just a place made for us.
And to take care of these places, you fight and hurt each other. Then how are we to stay inside your heart?
Look at these kids. They have no religion. They have only one religion, humanity. Nothing in this world is permanent. Then why fight? We have understood this, and that's why we have given up. To give up is happiness. Give up your stubbornness. Give up your ego. Give up your greed. Give up your dirty thoughts. Give respect to people's values. And whoever does this is Dhamma Sharanam Gacchami. And whoever goes against this will never be Dhamma Sharanam Gacchami.
That's right, my Lord.
Look, in religion, all are made equal. And to increase in numbers does not become progress for their religion. Just love for one another. If someone slaps you, then offer the other cheek too. Think of your mistakes and feel sorry for them. To forgive is the only path to reach me.
Our message is small. Then why do big things to say it? Be simple, be helpful, respect everyone, and do your work honestly. And whenever you follow this, that is our devotion. That is religion. Narayan, Narayan.
Narayana, Narayana. Well said, Lord. All your messages are so similar. But you can see, it's so surprising that you all are living here together. And these devotees of yours on your name have made different castes and are not living together. Narayan, Narayan.
Adi? But what were they all talking about? Oh, to me, these grown-up people have not yet understood this.
The peace opportunity to attend the curriculum of are the maximized when the school atmosphere is imbued with the value and the attitude. No thanks.